So let us look at the transaction. In the previous lecture, we explained what's meant by transaction, but we can repeat it again. So transaction is a record that will affect the student account in either negative or positive way. So every record, every change that happens on the student's financial account, it has a copy of a transaction that explains what happened to that particular balance or how to reach there. And we say that that transaction can either be generated by the system, for example, when you bill all students, or maybe when you admit a student in a class and that class has a bill on it. So this kind of generation. However, you can as well also create an account, create a transaction that's going to affect a student account. So as I said, the other method of setting school student account to reflect a specific amount that you want, we only do it in two scenarios. When you're starting using the system, and also when maybe things have totally failed to balance and you want them to reflect, that's when you use that. However, the normal ways of affecting the student account is to carry out or to create a transaction. Now let's say that a student has paid, for example, use this student to make him owe 100,000 shillings to the school. So let's say that this student has paid 20,000. So how do you record that? So if you want to see all transactions, as I said, you'll see all of these transactions from here. But if you want to see transactions that are only about school fees, you click here on school fees payment. So in simple terms, if a student pays 20,000, you just simply come to school fees payment and then click on new. So when you click on new, you go ahead and search that student in the system. So this student is called Serena, all right? So I can just simply come here and put Serena, and then the system will bring the student with even their balance in bracket and the class that they are in. So I can say student of P4 with this particular balance, the one that I mean, and then I can go ahead and specify the amount that I do want to, that this student has paid, right? They say that this student has paid 20,000. So what I'll do here, I'll just simply put 20,000. All right, then I go ahead and specify the date when this student paid. All right, if this student paid by cash, I go ahead and, if this student paid yesterday, I can go ahead and set yesterday. If this student paid today, I can go ahead and say this student has paid today. So if this student paid through school pay, I can just say this student paid through school pay, and then I put the school pay reference ID. You have to put it there to avoid duplication. If this student paid directly, I just simply say this student has paid directly or cash. So that is how you set a transaction. So this is going to create 20,000 shillings on the student account. Then I'll go ahead and submit. So when I submit, I'll be able to see that there was a manual entry that I created by myself, and you can see the record is there. Now I can go ahead and print the receipt. So to print the receipt, even here in the total here, shall be seeing the total that student owed the school. So if I want to print the receipt, I just simply click here to print receipt. So the system will go ahead and generate for me a receipt. So this is a sample of the receipt that the system generates. It will give this receipt a number, it will put our contacts there, it will put our email address, and then we'll go ahead and put the receipt, and then the date when it was created, and then the narration, and then it will show the balance that this student owes school and the money that this student has paid in figure, and then we'll just print it. It's a PDF. You print it, you can print on a half a paper. You see, it is designed to meet on a half a paper, to fit on half a paper. You go ahead and sign it. So that's how you print a receipt. So more things that we can look at here. We can see that if we come back to student account, we can see that the student who was owing 80,000, it has reduced to 100,000 reduced to 80,000. So if you want to see how did it come there, I can just simply come to school fees payment and click on filter, and then say filter by student, and then I go ahead and put the student name there. So the system will search that student and then search, and then the system will show all transactions that this student has ever paid to the school. If I want to see all kind of transaction, I just simply come here to transactions, I'll be able to see all transactions, even for the previous terms, etc. This one shows only for current term, but this one will show even for the previous term. So if you want to see those ones, if I want to see for a particular student, I can just simply come here and search by account. I select the name of a student and then say search. So the system will go ahead and show me the all records that student has ever paid at a school. So that's how you can search details about the student. You can search the transaction that were made in a specific date, right? You can search the transactions that are made between a specific date. You can search transaction by balance. You can search transaction by what? By either generated or which came through school pay or which was entered manually. You can search transactions. You can see here the total amount that student owed the school in total. Now here, now let's say that you want to create a negative transaction on a student. Let's say that maybe this student has broken the school's window glass, and you want to bill this student this broken glass. So what do? If you come here to fees account, this fees, it will only show you a deposit on student account. But this, you want to bill a student, one individual student threw a stone and it broke the school's window glass, and you want to bill maybe 50,000 on this student. So what you do, you come here to school fees, to transactions, and then click on new, and then click on negative. So this is going to be a negative transaction, and the due term is by default the current term that is set to be active. And then I can go ahead and enter the student's name. All right, I can go ahead and enter the student's account, and then I can go ahead and put, for example, minus maybe minus 70,000, maybe because the student is a fine or something like that. When you just want to put a negative on a student's account, that's what you do. So you come just put here just a negative. You don't need to put a minus. You just put here a negative, right? You put a negative here, and then the system will automatically put the minus. And then you select the date, and then you give the reason. So if you say broke window glass for the school, or broke a school window glass, and then I go ahead and say this is going to be in cash, and then I go ahead and submit. So this is going to be a negative on a student on a student's account, right? If I sort here in descending, I should be able to see this negative that has happened on the student's account. So if I come back to this student account, I should be able to see that the student account has increased from where it was of 80,000. It is now 150 because I've added a negative of 70,000. If I come and refresh on the student page, I can be able to see how this money has been coming. So if I come at the last transaction, this was credited because we wanted this his account to meet this balance. This student went ahead and paid the money, 20,000 on this date. And then I can see on this date, this student broke the window glass of the school, and we billed the student this amount. So if you sum up this amount, it should be totaling to this amount that is displaying here. And if you come to all transactions, you should be able to see all the transactions that have ever happened to this student account. So everything that you do in the system is accountable. You cannot just say, I force the balance to display this particular amount. Everything you do is accountable. So that's how you can put a negative on a student's account. So let's look at the dashboard. So if you look at the dashboard, you'll see some things have changed. The balances will change. Then you'll be able to see the amount of money that was collected on this particular date. So this graph will be showing records of 2 weeks ago with the amount of money that was collected on this particular date. So you can see here 20,000 was collected today. So then on this left-hand side, on the right-hand side, sorry, it will be showing the negative accounts, the negative bills that have happened, the recent negative bills. So you see the recent negative bills is that of 100,000 that we set to meet the specific balance, and there's also another 70,000 that we bill the student for having broken the glass. Then this side will be showing you the money that comes in the system, or the money that comes in the school. So you can see the most recent is this one, student when he paid this 20,000. I can as well print this receipt. So the most latest transaction, they'll be showing up here. If you 12 of them, and then this one will be is it how many? There are 10, and then this side will be showing 8 latest transactions, 10 latest transactions. If you want to see all transactions, just simply click here, and then this graph will be showing the transactions, right? The transaction of the entire system. So if you want to generate an entire performance of transaction in the school, the report of the school for this financial term, you just simply click here on this button. Then the system will generate for you a report of the school fees payment, the school fees billing for this particular term. So you can see the total income is this 20,000, the one that I've just recorded right now, and it came through cash. And if it came through school pay, it will show you it came through school pay. So it gives you a summary of what you need. So go ahead and try it out. Go ahead and try it out. You should be able to see the summary of the entire school fees bills, even with their respective warning. If the students are not in respective classes, the system will go ahead and warn you in these red colors. So you can click and make sure that you fix all these ones. So you can see here the student is in 2 classes, so that can lead to double billing. So you have to go ahead and remove this student from one class, and I've already shown you how to do that. You just simply go to students, classes, and then you go ahead and remove the student from one class, because here it shows that there are some students who are already in 2 classes at the same time. Yeah, so that is how you do it. So this is a financial or a timely report for the school financially. So let me go ahead and download it. Number 3. So that's how you generate the financial report. So you can have an overview of the entire school balances. School fees in the same section in one file. Yeah. So that is transaction. Those are transactions. I believe you've understood. So if you want to save school fees, you just simply come to school fees here and then click new to just add the school fees record. If you want to do what? If you want to put a negative transaction on student account, just come here to transactions, and then you can be able to put a negative transaction. If you want to see filters and everything, you can use these filters. If you want to see the details of a certain student section payment, you just simply click there, and then the system will show you how the student has been paying from day 1 up to the current time, and you can be able to bill that student at any time. Yeah, so I hope you've understood that. Let's meet in the next lecture or in the next video, where we are going to explain more things about finance, because we still have fees billing, we still have bursary, we still have services. So let's meet in the next video. We're going to explain those. Don't miss. See you there.